So, to this evening, we are taking a look at Thailand's incredible tourism industry in changing times, which has just kept barreling forward and is now, according to different accounts, worth something approaching 1/5 of GDP and employs something around 16% of the workforce. And it seems unstoppable. Which is a very good thing because the Thai economy is facing problems like everybody else with commodity prices down, a general global recession, a very weak economy in China. So anyway, we're extremely honoured this evening to have Her Excellency Kobkarn Wattanavrangkul, the Minister of Tourism and Sports, to join us. This is actually her second time at the FCCT. She opened an exhibition here before, but it's her first time speaking. And we're delighted to have somebody from the current Thai cabinet actually come to the FCC. I think we've had one finance minister, and the rest of them are all running scared, and I have absolutely no reason why that should be. But anyway, you're extremely welcome. Kun Kobkarn studied in the US, studied architecture, which is a good background. She came back to Thailand, was instrumental in the development of Mabangkrong, one of the first super malls in Thailand, and is the chair, or was the chair, of Toshiba. So she has very strong connections to the Japanese business community, which is, of course, enormous in Thailand. I mean, I think the investment's somewhere around 60 trillion baht, and you have 4,500 Japanese companies here, of which Toshiba is one of the flagships. We have, sitting at the end, Roy Howard, who is a true veteran of the Thai tourism industry. In fact, he's one of the creators of the Thai tourism industry. And he goes all the way back to 1959 when Thai International was being formed as an airline in conjunction with SAS.
From the Millennial News site, Aussie.com.
Thank you. And Roy went on, his background's in advertising. He was the advertising manager for Thai, and then he went on to found a major publishing house in Hong Kong, which produced regional publications. We have Bert Botai van Wolbeek, another veteran. He's a 45-year veteran of the tourism industry, and he's been in Thailand since 1985. And was one of the founder of the Thailand chapter of the Society of Incentive Travel Executives. He gained fame in 1992 as the mastermind of the World Our Guest campaign, which was a big project to get the tourism industry back on the road after the bloodbath in May that year. And it was regarded at the time as one of the most effective marketing campaigns ever mounted in global tourism, so it got huge accolades. We have Sangha Wattanavrangkul, who is an advisor to the Khao San Road Business Association, and he's going to be telling us about what's actually happening at the moment in the industry, how it's been affected, and what its concerns are. And finally, last but not least, we have Imtiaz Mukbil, who is one of the very best-known travel trade correspondents in Asia Pacific. He's been in Thailand since 1980. His background was with Travel Trade Gazette. He has a very strong connection to the Pacific Asian Tourism Association. And currently he continues to run his Travel Impact Newswire, which is, has been on the road since 1998. And keeps the tabs on everything that's going on in the industry. So I think if you look at this, we've got coming up for 2 centuries worth of experience on the stage. And Kun Kobkarn, you're actually the newest person to the industry in this group. But we'd be very interested to hear what is on the horizon in the coming months, the coming 3 months, the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I update you with what's that will happen in the next 2-3 months, I would like to give you the outlook and the vision of tourism of Thailand. I decided to come here to share, but then at the same time, I would love to come here to listen as well. So at the end, your comments will be very helpful for us to make sure that we will walk on the right path. I'm not the expert in tourism or even sports, but I have passion in this because I think the objective of tourism in Thailand nowadays is not just the figures. Of course, we have to do some figures, but we believe what that is more important. Tourism will bring understanding and friendship. And so therefore, it's coming up. Soon, it's coming up. Okay. So tourism strategy for this period of time, we are aiming to be quality leisure destination. Quality. It means that we would like to make not only in terms of money. Of course, we must have some figures. Otherwise, no KPI to measure us. But the target that we have set up is not the target of number of tourists, no longer. We might have some figures behind the bag, but what we promise to the government will be the revenue, tourism revenue. So next year we are aiming to achieve 2.5 trillion baht. 2.5 trillion baht. This year we hope we will get 2.4 trillion. And last year we did achieve 2.24 trillion baht. This is coming from international tourist arrival receipt plus from the Thai domestic tourism. But that is not enough. For us, even though we can make more money, and as you have already said that this chunk of money is a big part of GDP of Thailand nowadays. Some say like 15%, 16%, but whatever it is, that is not enough. For us, it should be wealth distribution. And that has been what we have been doing in the past 1 or 2 years to make sure that not only main cities to receive the number of tourists or the growth of tourism. And we have been working hard in order to create the secondary towns like the 12 hidden gems, and this year another 12 hidden gem plus, and Khon Kaen or that kind of thing. And local experience, meaning that we have to make sure that money should go from main place to smaller towns, to little communities, and to various parts for eco-sharing. Also, it is important for us to care for the community, meaning that to increase the quality of life and strengthen the community, so that at the end of the day, they should be able to manage. We would like to see the business in the hand of the local people as much as possible. We would like to see and make sure that the young generation remain in their hometown. And tourism can help them if we can make it possible to create, to bring tourists into that part. Otherwise, normally the young generation with good education and good economy, they tend to come to Bangkok, study abroad, and many times never return. And so it is important for us to make sure that young gen SME will return to their place. And because they will be the one to continue the Thainess. And also another thing, the environment. In order to create quality, in order to attain sustainable growth, this is according to the King's teaching. We need to balance between the money, the people, and the environment. We also take care of environment. In the past, people say that, oh, our ministry, no, we don't have to take care of this. It is the duty of Ministry of Natural Resource. It is the duty of Ministry of Interior. It is the duty of everyone except us. For us, no. Everything is our responsibility. So environment, the balance of this, how the tourists can to make sure that we are now working on the project, how to make sure that tourists will not create new waste, because the old waste is already very difficult to be managed. So how can tourists go to the island and not create more or new additional trash to the place? Okay. So our mission is to enhance the quality of tourism, develop the tourism product to satisfy with the market and community, and effective management and collaboration between the local, the business sector and the government. So when we break down, so there are 3 areas that we have been doing for the past 2 years, and will continue to do so until next year, hopefully until the next election. So promote tourism market, make sure that we go towards quality, develop tourism product and service in terms of area, in terms of issue, in terms of infrastructure, safety, logistics, and also last but not least, the management. Okay. In terms of area, this is just example. I have big boss. Actually, Ministry of Tourism and Sport is not only handle tourism. At the moment, we have a bigger board called I cannot remember the whole name in English, but it's a big board that under the General Thanasak. And this board comprised of 8 ministries. I'm one of them. We realized that actually tourism connect with so many other people. So we need collaboration. We plan everything, but we need to get the same direction with the other 7 ministries to go on. And that is why we are on that track. And this board have already decided that Thailand is under 8 clusters, 8 clusters of development, meaning that each cluster will be around the main cities. For example, Chiang Mai or Lan Na cluster. Chiang Mai is the main city of the Lan Na, and Chiang Mai will also help Chiang Rai, Phayao, Lampang, Lamphun. That is Lan Na cluster. So when we develop, this is the connectivity, because we know that tourism must start from main city. We cannot neglect main cities. Everything will start from main cities, because the airport will be there and whatnot, and the main facilities will be there. But from the main city, then they can go and help. And that is why we introduced 12 hidden gems. Those 12 hidden gems are the secondary towns connected to the big town. Okay.
I would just assume it's not going to happen. It seems to be a terrible jinx. I can only apologize.
Okay. And so area-based, as I have said, that we introduced 12 new secondary cities last year. For example, we introduced Lampang. Have you been to Lampang? Lampang is only an hour or less from Chiang Mai, south Chiang Mai. So last year we introduced that kind of secondary towns. 12 towns scattering around the country. Last year, the tourism revenue from those 12 hidden gems increased about 15%. 15%. So this is a part of wealth distribution. So we can spread out the wealth to another 12 cities. So this year, we introduced another 12 hidden gems. We call the 12 hidden gem plus. So meaning that this year, after Lampang, we introduced Lamphun. Have you been to Lamphun? Also very nice. Only half an hour from Chiang Mai and from Lampang. So this connectivity possible. So this year we launched the new 12 towns already. And their revenue increased about 8 to 11% from tourism revenue. So meaning we introduced already 24 new provinces, 12. And this is in terms of area base. Area base. Last but not least, new target for us. We believe that we are now doing the wealth distribution to all parts, but still there is something missing because foreign tourists don't go to northeastern part of Thailand or the Isan area, not enough. So we have additional target. Khon Kaen is the key. So we aim within 2 years, there should be 5 million tourist arrival to Khon Kaen per year, per year. Force us to make sure that we should share the number of tourists from Phuket, from Pattaya, from Chiang Mai, from Bangkok to the northeastern part of Thailand. And I believe that if Khon Kaen is possible, then the surrounding provinces like Loy Et, Buriram, Yasothon, probably you might have heard of them, can grow from the international tourist arrival. Another thing that we have been doing is that not only to introduce the area, but we also make sure that they spend more. Quality leisure destination doesn't mean that we only care for rich people. We are not only care for one segment. We welcome everyone. I used to come with a backpack. I totally understand. We welcome every size of pocket of tourists. But quality doesn't mean the money, but we have to make sure that when you come to Thailand, you must understand who we are and appreciate the right image of what we want. And definitely when you return, and you should return, and once you return and spend more because you grow up, you work and whatnot. So that is the term of quality for us. Make sure that you come and understand us. Make sure you return and make sure that next time you stay longer or next time you spend more. So that is the thing that we are working on. So we're working together with other ministries to make sure that you buy more souvenir, you buy more agricultural product, you buy more of the textile, you buy more of many things that the local can get benefit. Okay. So that is in terms of the destination. In terms of product, so how can we, some people say that we sell the same old thing. Okay. Yeah, it's the same country. But in terms of product, what we have stressed in the past maybe 1 or 2 years, ASEAN Connect. Everyone knows ASEAN has already been open. So the project of 2 countries, 1 destination. If you want to go to Myanmar, you come to Thailand. If you want to go to Phnom Penh, you come to Thailand. If you want to go to Luang Prabang, you come to Thailand also. Where any destination in ASEAN, you name it, we can do it because we have great connectivity, especially low-cost airline. And we have already connect, I think you know well, not only capital to capital, not only big town to big town, but big town to secondary town to secondary towns, and a new one coming up. And so Myanmar, Thailand, for example, we start from last year. We take, if you come to Chiang Mai, we take you to Mandalay. And from Mandalay to Pagan, Pagan to Naypyidaw, Naypyidaw back to Bangkok. Already introduced. We work together with Ministry of Hotel and Tourism of Myanmar. The previous one and the new one also. Successfully, because we have Bangkok Airways, because we have TG, we have many airlines that help make this possible. We are now connecting with Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam also with this kind of connectivity. So ASEAN Connect is one of the products that we have launched for one year or almost 2 years already. Sport tourism. I have to say this because not only because I'm coming from Ministry of Tourism and Sport, but we have sport that sell to tourists a lot. So this is the newest booklet. Now, Sport Authority of Thailand, working closely with Tourism Authority of Thailand. This is the second year that we launched. We aim Thailand to be sport dream destination or sport hub. Whether you are the serious athlete, you are fun-loving marathon runners, or whoever you are, if you want to do any kind of sport, come to Thailand. Because we have so many activities coming in Thailand already. The world-renowned competition, national level competition, or just regional, or just any day that you want to come to Thailand, you can come. We have so many kinds of sport. For example, marathon. I think you know, if you are in Thailand for quite a while, we have marathon every month. So TAT is now selling marathon in India, in China, or even in Japan market. Bangkok Marathon, Chiang Mai Marathon, Phuket Marathon, or triathlon, or Ironman. Coming up, you name it, we have it all. Ironman is coming up this month. And actually this Sunday, I'm going to attend Laguna triathlon. And Princess Pa will also join. She will join the whole thing. I will join only 3 kilometers. That's all. But sport tourism is here already. Have you heard of Thanyapura in Phuket? That is another good example. They are now very successful. They are in the middle of nowhere, not next to the beach. They are in Phuket. They are now the sport hotel, sport hub. And they select to be expert in swimming. So now they are fully booked for Tokyo Olympic. They are the only sport facility that get the license from FINA. So the swimming team, national swimming team of any country are now long queue are now training in Phuket, Thanyapura. I highly recommend you to visit. Very great place. And now the booking is for Tokyo Olympic and the next Olympic already. And this is sport. They arranged swim around Phuket Island last year. And this year they will do it again. So they are expert in swimming, bicycle, and marathon. So we are now going to promote this more and more. We are Golfer Paradise. We are the World Jet Ski, and World Jet Ski is coming up this month, I think, also. No postpone. And a lot, I think 2,000, 3,000 people will come for the World Jet Ski in Thailand. We are now probably the #1 world event for jet ski. So this is sport tourism. We also have maritime tourism, super yacht. We arranged it last year, and we will have it again at the end of this year, in Phuket. Ladies' journey to Thailand. Ladies' journey meaning that we discover that actually for some country more male visit Thailand than female. So and then to Vietnam, more female visit Vietnam than male. So we are missing something. So we have come up with the package we call Ladies' Journey to Thailand. This is the Japanese version, meaning that we understand women working so hard like me, stressful throughout the year. So you better come and be more beautiful. Release your stress. We are very, very famous for beauty from head to toe. You select, you can be more beautiful. We teach you Muay Thai, so you release your stress, you can lose your weight, and you gain muscles. We teach you how to do som tam, to do cooking. We teach you meditation, blah, 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 blah. So Ladies' Journey has already been launched and sell in Japanese market, and I believe Indian market also. And luxury tourism. So we are in the Louis Vuitton city guide. Louis Vuitton. And we are trying to promote more that if you want to go for, expensive, very exclusive, we also have it. ต่อเลยจ้ะ medical and wellness we are now collaborating with Ministry of Public Health นะคะ medical and wellness is now another target that we would like to do more because we start to have more competitors everyone now would like to be medical and wellness center we need to keep our position so therefore we are now working closely with them now we have fixed price good price package offering until the end of this year or end of January for dental for medical health checkup and for fertility program that is especially for Chinese market นะคะ gastronomy tourism of course we don't want to be famous only for street food we want to be famous for any kind of cuisine in Thailand so this year or next year we will be the hub for Asia 50 best นะคะ we launch it this year and next year we also will be the host country again and I hope I think you know Gargan นะคะ Gargan number one I hope they will still be number one in Thailand in Asia นะคะ so we will be the host ตอบไปเลยจ้ะค่ะ medical wellness I have said and we also will work very hard for tourism for all we were the host country for World Tourism Day and we pledge that tourism for all should start in every country and definitely in Thailand so we are now making sure that we will have the route for tourism for all meaning for handicap old age and now we have already at least one route in each cluster so 8 cluster already have the route for the handicap and the old age mice we are working closely with TCEP นะคะ I just talked to TCEP today they said that they are doing very well นะคะ actually about 5% increase towards the end of this year so more meeting more incentive more conference to Thailand and we will continue to do more and we will collaborate more that they will have new product coming up not only just come for conference but come with some of the tourism package green tourism this is something that we are working hard as I have said that we are now have a new training for our tourist guide that how to make sure that each tourist coming to Thailand will create no new waste for example if you go to the island we'll give you a bottle and you fill the water in that we will not allow you to use to buy the pet bottle for water that kind of thing so but we are working on this because we need to work together with the island as well ต่อเลยจ้ะ and for the maritime it doesn't mean only in the sea meaning the canal also we are trying to promote this morning I was at one of the canal in Bangkok we will promote more and more canal if you remember we used to be Venice of the East or something long forgotten so we try very hard to gain back one canal each okay? and the river and the river of King will return to its glory I hope by the end of next year okay? Muslim friendly destination we are doing this all along in terms of safety we are not only promote people to come in we increase the number of tourist police to Thailand in Thailand we used to have 900 now 1,200 and by January 1,600 นะคะ so full scale we also have volunteer a lot of expat have become our volunteers in every places we increase more CCTV installation detail of this you can get afterward นะคะ we will have speedboat for the tourist police so that they will take care of the tourists around the islands also. 20 of them. Helicopters, segways, ATVs. And 1155 is the call center that can answer all the needs of the tourists. And you might have heard that the ferry connecting from the eastern part of Thailand to Hua Hin, they will start very soon. So we will work closely with Ministry of Transportation. There will be new route, new things coming up. You might have heard that we have regulate like $0 tour. We also are on the path of regulating many other crowded places. For example, Wat Phakeo or Grand Palace. Working together with the Grand Palace, they will have the online booking coming up very soon. So we are on the process of doing this. And not only that, Ministry of Natural Resource will also have online booking to go to island also. And you can book this at 7-Eleven. This is coming up also. And there will be capacity limitation. So meaning that in the past, some people said they cannot see anything because only the hair of the tourists. So from now on, soon, the limitation, for example, if they can take only 500 tourists per day, they will stick to 500 because it will be online booking coming up to the national park. And tourist guide training, we are now working with not only the Grand Palace, but the Department of Tourism of Thailand. We will call them back for new training, language. Make sure that they can speak more. I mean, to create a better understanding. We have to make sure that they start to tell Thai history. And we have already made a kind of Thai history in brief that related to each country. For example, this king is related to Jin Si Hongtae of China. This king is related to this emperor of Japan. This king is related to Louis XVI of France, or that kind of thing. So we are now making sure that our guide will start to tell the story of our country. Trash management, safety and survival tips and whatnot. So retraining. And actually tomorrow we will start the first training and it will continue onward. We have the QR code, but not, of course not enough. Last but not least, I have to say this. You might have heard of FIT, Free Independent Travelers. Most of the European, you don't come in a group tour. You come by yourself. We call you are FIT. This is the word that we use in our business. The growth of FIT in China is very rapid. At the moment, you will not believe it, that people coming to Thailand from China, almost 60% are FIT already. So when you look around, not all of them are tourists from the group tour. Change very fast because of the mobile phone. Everyone can travel with a mobile phone, the new generation and whatnot. And so therefore, we are going to start the digital tourism, meaning that everything will be on the Amazing Thailand website. You can prepare, plan, and post your trip to Thailand. And this one we will work together with the private sector to make sure that once you are going to book anything, that the private sector of Thailand, and this is the Thailand. We already talked to Alibaba and some people, how to make sure that we at least we should have one group of the Thai how should I say, online business that will help the SME. It will be very costly, at least 30% that they will charge you on Agoda. But if you come with, if you can be on the online system of the Thai-made page, it will be much cheaper to make sure that the little SME can survive, as I say, and they should be the local people. So this is just the image of what we are doing now, or continue to do so. And hopefully most of these we should finish at certain stage before the new election by the end of next year. Okay. So,
Minister, before we move to the other panelists, can I just quickly ask you what is planned for the next 2 months in terms of relaxation of the arrangements following the big event?
So life goes on. I talked to the many ambassadors. So just to make sure that you understand, and detail will give more understanding. So if you have you been to Oriental Hotel lately? Bamboo Bar still have jazz music. I sip gin tonic by the terrace. Some people still ask whether we can drink wine in Thailand. I said, yes, you can. And it's still on. So this is at the lobby of Oriental Hotel. Music everywhere. It is allowed and they are doing it. Loi Krathong passed already, so be Loi Krathong. Maybe it's different, but be Loi Krathong. Chiang Mai, Tak, Sukhothai, Bangkok. Full moon, yesterday already, Phangan start their full moon for the king. Some adaptation. So from now on, every month full moon, there will be full moon activities on Phangan Island. Start already. So, so this is a picture from yesterday. Full moon for our king. Actual picture, actual picture from Phangan Island. We have some exhibition art for the blind yesterday. Elephant Fair, Surin, on, no postponement. November 18 to 20, on. Phuket Laguna Triathlon, I will join. Princess Pa will join the whole trip. I will be there. I have heard that about 10,000 this year also increased. Ironman, this is coming back to Phuket, meaning the serious one, coming to Phuket also. And Princess Cup, 2 princesses will be there. One will be on the horse. Another one will preside over. So Princess Cup, November 25th to 27 in Bangkok. Air Race 1, this is new. This is F1 for the airplane, meaning the fastest plane. That's what I have heard. It's new. So we will host for 2 years at Utapao. We plan to do this because it's like the introduction of Utapao also, airport. So Air Race 1 this year is a pre-event, and next year will be main event. And World Jet Ski, the people in the jet ski area will know that this is probably now the number one race in the world. So December 3rd to 6th at Jomtien Beach, more 1,000, 2,000 people will join. Phuket Kings Cup Regatta, the very famous one, still on, no postponement, December 3rd to 10th. Chiang Mai Marathon, also very popular. I have heard fully booked already. And each runner, you must book at least 3 nights, otherwise they will not sell the hotel for you. December 18, no postponement. Christmas tree, some people ask me, so I would like to tell you now, there will be Christmas lighting. I talked to the owner of Paragon and also Central World. Some people misunderstand. Sometimes when they put down for example, no Christmas tree. That it doesn't mean they will not have Christmas. They have. There will be Christmas lighting, and they will make sure that people will selfie. The biggest selfie ever. They still compete like mad. So Paragon, Central World, this is just example. M Quartier, you name it. There will be lighting. Countdown. There will be countdown. There will be Thai fight on the intersection of here, near you, Lat Pasong. So sorry, So there will be countdown. But look, we'll see what it will look like. There will be Thai fight. They promised me already. So we also, this is new, Muay Thai League. Muay Thai is becoming more and more popular in February. And same thing as Football League. We will have more of Muay Thai. And a lot of foreigners are joining us. Chinese New Year. We will have Chinese New Year. We will have Dragon Dance. Don't worry. And this year will be special. We will have one of something that we have never done before. Chinese New Year in the park at Suan Lum. Coming up. Also, Bangkok Marathon. This is the only thing that postponed, but fixed to February 5th because they start from Wat Phra Kaew, so too close. So therefore, it will be February 5th. Mice, just some of the big names. Some people have rumor that they postpone, they change, they cancel. No change, no cancel. All of this on. These are only the big events name. Asia 50 Best February 20 at the Blue Hotel on Sathorn Road, second year. Will be coming. Well, this is important to us. World Travel and Tourism Council, the global summit will be in Bangkok. No postpone also. April 25th to 27, and David Cameron will be here. And hopefully.
David Scouser.
Yes.
Not Cameron.
He invite David Cameron.
Oh, he's Cameron. Sorry, that word.
Chai
He's coming.
Coming, hopefully, and Aung San Suu Kyi. Bangkok. Wedding Congress, this is something that we are #1 wedding destination for Indian couples, and we will continue to do more. So Wedding Congress, this is supposed to be luxury. So Wedding Congress will be in Phuket. So meaning the meeting of the wedding planner in Thailand from around the world. May 2nd to 4th in Phuket. And today we launched 70 Ways of King. So introducing the route to visit the King's project. Actually, he had done more than 3,000 or 4,000 projects, but we have selected the 70 good ones to introduce to the Thai. And we introduced this in the BUTM in London, and some of our people there, the British operator said that they would like us to translate into English because they would like this for the British tourists to join. And just for your information, we introduced youth tourism in the UK market. And TAT has just signed MOU with one of the big operators called STA. So next year there will be about 60,000 students coming from England and the nearby countries. And many of them will come to do activities with us. So there will be new projects coming up more and more. Last but not least, Wat Phra Kaew, already open. This is good news if you don't know. Thanks to Ministry of Culture, all national museum will be free and open every day until January 31st. Highly recommend because all national museum normally they close on Monday. They will open every day and free. And especially the main one at Sanam Luang. And now I have heard super crowded because everyone would like to see which chariot, which carriage will be the one they use for the king's royal urn. One of this will be used. So everyone will go in and take photo. And they just finished the renovation with aircon. Highly recommend to be there. And beautiful, beautiful. So all National Museum. Sukhothai also open free. 7 days a week. Ayutthaya, Royal Barge. And I have heard from TAT, there will be jazz. เจ้าบ่าววันนี้เขาพูดอะไรนะ Jazz Festival at Ayutthaya. วันไหนนะ In 2 weeks, also in 2 weeks. So this is what we call life goes on.
Great.
In Thailand.
Thank you very much for that roundup. I noticed that you had the cremation marked for October next year. Have you any idea when the date will actually be announced for the cremation at Sanamrong?
Oh, we are still waiting. It will take about a year because they need about a year to build the
Meru.
I don't know what to call.
It's the Meru. Yeah.
I think so. We are waiting to see also because it should be exquisite. And they have just finished the ceremony to cut down the tree for that. Everything very meaningful. And so therefore, and they have finished the design selection. So after the design selection, and it will be done by the Department of Fine Art, and it will take, about almost a year to finish this. It will cover about 2/3 of the Sanamrong area. So we would like to see what it's going to be like, but it's going to be something that memorable.
Good. Well, thank you for that very comprehensive roundup. I'm sorry, we actually have a brand new projector, but I think somebody got the connector leads from Pantip and something went horribly wrong. Was it you? Roy, going back to 1959, the seeds of Thai tourism, 100,000 visitors a year, a very different world. You're just completing a book on the subject, aren't you? So maybe you can bring us up to speed.
Yes. After the excellent update from the Minister about what's happening now and in the future, I'd like just to take you back briefly to the origins of tourism in this country. I came here in 1959, which is 57 years ago, and one of my first jobs was to organize the advertising launch of Thai Airways International, which I'm sure you probably know was a joint venture between Scandinavian Airlines and Thai Airways. One of the challenges we had when we set out to launch Thai was to establish the selling points for the components of the airline. So what we did was we focused on the experience of Scandinavian Airlines as a global airline, and from the Thai perspective, given that there had been a number of failed airline ventures after the Second World War in this country with carriers like Pan American and so on, we had to find the other ingredient to promote this new airline. And that, of course, was Thai hospitality, the uniqueness of Thailand and the Thai people. So that was how we launched Thai back in 1960. And, at that time, or in fact in 1959, Field Marshal Sarit Thanarat arranged for a new organization to come about, which was called the Tourism Organization of Thailand, which later on became TAT. It had to change its name because they discovered that the telephone organization had the same initials. So anyway, TOT was launched by Field Marshal Sarit Thanarat, and the first Director General was General Chalamchai, who became extremely well known throughout the travel industry all over the world. The problem was at that time that the new organization had absolutely no budget. So Thai International was responsible from those early days in attracting visitors to come to Thailand, to persuade the travel agents around the world to come visit here. And so it probably is not recognized in some quarters just how important Thai International was in taking this country from less than 100,000 tourists a year to 32 million plus. And I'd like to recognize that fact. I'd also like to comment, I'm not a spokesperson for Thai International, although I spent 28 years working with Thai International. And I also published Sawadi magazine, which was for a number of years. But, you know, in recent times, we're all aware that Thai has not done terribly well financially, has had its problems. But I understand that, in fact, they're turning the corner. They are hopeful that this year they will actually show a profit for the first time in a number of years. They're making some very good moves. They're cutting staff. They're retiring old equipment. They've cut out uneconomic routes. And I think they're on the up and up. And for many people, myself included, I would be very, very happy to see Thai come back to prominence again. I hope that they will. One more thing I'd like to say about history, and that is that I've been working for the past 2 years on a major book project with a number of sponsors here in Thailand to produce a book called Thailand Tourism, The Early Days. And this book is the first ever comprehensive record about the people who made this industry happen. People like General Chalamchai, the people at Thai International, Dusit Thani, who opened the first hotel down on Chang Krung back in the 50s, and so on. So that book, which is hoped will be published by the end of this year, as I say, will be the first ever comprehensive record of tourism history here. And there will also be a Thai edition following the English version. So I know that there are some people, younger people, who would say that history doesn't count, but I would just remind you that Confucius said 2,500 years ago that if you don't study history, you can't predict the future. Thank you.
I think you better come back when you've got the book out, and we'll have another program. Okay. We'll certainly fill an evening. Khun Sangha, you're right in the business, Khao San Road, a very new wave type tourism compared to what we saw in the 60s and 70s. What's been your experience recently of the business? What's been going on? Are you booming as well?
Well, His Excellency and guest speaker and all ladies and gentlemen. As a private sector, I'm very happy to hear our minister on the marketing plans this year and the next year. Khao San Road we call it a Panakorn district. Okay, we are the best location, the prime area for all the conflicts. You know, all the protesters, everybody come here. They block the road, they do everything. So we facing many crises in this area. So, well, but all things can be solved. Okay, so as a Khao San association, we facing many incidents, and this time, the end of the pass away of our greatest king, our revenues, our tourists, we dropped over 30 to 40%. The revenue-wise, we dropped over 70%. But it's starting to be recovered. Okay, we have to shut down all the entertainment. That's why we have zero revenue. But after a week, we start to reopen. After 14, we already starting to have a live band, as ministers show you on the Oriental. Okay, so the business start picking it up, and we expect recover, especially in November. We have probably the occupancy of the 90% of the tourists. And we are on hand in December, we have over 60%. So for the fourth quarter of this year, we're expecting the revenue to come back maybe 20% less than last year. So it's very we are happy, and we are on the good tracks on tourism-wise. For the domestic, the geographic of the Khao San, we have about, in the past we have 90% of the Europeans, and now the market is changing. Also, as a minister showed you, a lot of Chinese are coming over, a lot of Asian coming to stay in Khao San. We have about 8,000 rooms in Panakorn district. The price range from 250 to 3,000 baht. So that's why it's a favor of all the backpacker, all the young generation who would like to, you know, enjoy a cheap flight and nice accommodation with a good price. So we expect next year that the growth of the tourist industry will continue, and we see a lot of changing. Even though the Europeans have been dropping for the last few years, but the Chinese have been covered all the tourists from Europe. This is our lucky years, I guess. And we still see the growth of the Chinese. And these are the new wave of the new generation who came with all the mobile, the application, and they're willing to meet the East and the West in Khao San. This is the unique of why people come to Khao San. Europeans are here, Asians are here, and they enjoy to see each other, and they stop here and they go around the areas. They go to the neighbor, and they will come back to Khao San again for the second stop before they're going back to their home. So, well, from the presentation of our minister, we are private sector, we are happy, and we are willing to work with the government side, and we are strongly confident that the Thai government will work on the travel industry and strongly to how to pull in all the tourists, especially the not the wealthy, but the spender, the big spender. So thank you.
Just before we move on, Kunsanga, what are the numbers that you're talking about in the backpacking, the FIT, the young travelers?
Yeah, we have about 10,000 a day. Okay, we have over 8,000 rooms. So if the occupancy is 100%, it's 16,000. So we are in Khao San, we are running about all year round is about 70. So every day we have over 10,000 people, especially also the Thai people who come over for night entertainment. And the people who didn't stay in Khao San, they all come in the bus, and the guy drop them. They just walk around and go back to other hotel where they're staying. So overall we have over more than 10,000 today.
And the drop-off in European tourists, the long haul out of Europe, what do you put that down to?
Pardon me?
What do you think the reason is for the drop-off?
Okay, crisis of the economy. I think, and the many things happened in the past in Thailand, the red and yellow shirt. So you see a tremendous drop, and also the currency exchange in the Europeans before was very weak. So you can see a lot of things that affects the tourism.
Price sensitive. Right, Bert van Bolbeek, an expert on the world's most resilient tourism industry.
Okay.
Just pray that it works.
Yes, it does work. As you heard, my name is Bert van Walbeek. I am a Dutchman living in Thailand for 30 years. And no, I'm not married to a Thai lady. According to my Dutch mother, much worse, I'm married to a German. Does it have to be a German? She asked me 40 years ago, and it's still a German. Okay, I'm the managing director of a company called The Winning Edge, which I started 23 years ago here in Thailand. I am what they call the Master of Disaster from Pacific Asia Travel Association, and last year became honorary doctor for my work on crisis management given to me by the University of West London. I wrote various books about crisis management, and specifically the first one is being used quite heavily in tourism crisis situation. I also wrote a book about mice. To enhance what Roy just said, I'm being asked a lot by other countries why Thailand is so successful. Actually, I'm one of those prophets that is more appreciated in other countries than in what I, in the meantime, call my own country. So I show them this slide, and I tell them the stories about the two major campaigns, the first one being Thailand Visit Year, and the second one being Amazing Thailand, and how that started continuing. Then I talk about the similarities between Spain and Thailand. And sorry, I forgot to put a Spain flag here. The red one is the tourism development in Spain. The blue one is the tourism development in Thailand. Very simple, and I actually call Thailand the Spain of Asia. There's a very clear connection between the developments of those two countries, and I think we can learn a lot of what happened in Spain. No time to talk about that today. I also talk about this, the influence of the low-cost carriers. Because without those low-cost carriers, we would not be where we are now. And if you just look and go to Dom Muang and see that it's getting nearly as busy as Suvarnabhumi, then I think there is a clear message there. And I think we all in the tourism industry should be very grateful to those low-cost carriers. Then I show them this slide, because they keep talking to me about crisis, and why not, why not. This is a chart that's done by Jones Lang LaSalle Hotels. They do that every year. And as you can see, every year we have one or the other crisis coming up. But if you then look at the average increase of 10% per year, then somehow, somewhere, Thailand has managed to answer the challenges of the crisis and to react very well. And if you see, as you heard, I was involved in the World Our Guest in 1992, which was, of course, pre-internet and a totally different ballgame as it is now, and how long it took us there and how short it takes us now to bounce back, because the private industry is doing a good job. Many hotel chains have their crisis center. Many tour operators have the crisis center. Both the MOTS and the TAT are reacting much faster and much more flexible than in the good old days. And that all helped to keep going. And as we have seen the last 2-3 crises, it was a matter of 6 weeks, and we were basically bouncing back happily again. So that is really what both the private industry and the government has to really is a compliment to both of them. We also show them then the boom in Asia Pacific. And this is 2015 figures. And you clearly can see that Asia Pacific is doing fantastic. And then with Thailand's strategic location within Asia Pacific, as the minister said, you have to come to Thailand, to go to Cambodia, to go to Myanmar, to go to Laos. We're doing very, very well. And again, the increases that you see here are much higher than the increases in the rest of the world. Then where are we going? This is another famous UNWTO chart that has now charted tourism until the year 2030. And as you can see by now, the yellow part is Asia. We're by far the second largest segment of tourism. And from 1.4 billion, we go to 1.8 billion over the years to come, which is why when I hear Thailand talking about 50 million by 2020, I think there is a clear opportunity there. And that's where the question is. Figures mentioned already by the minister. Once again, The direct contribution, people that working directly in tourism, 9.3% GDP, and by 2025, 14.0 GDP forecasted by the World Travel Tourism Council. The total contribution, that is also organizations that are partly serving tourism industry. 7-Eleven is a perfect example of that. We're up to 20% GDP, 21% already, and we're talking 30% by 2025. Employment, 2.3 million jobs, 4 million jobs. So when I talk to students, I tell them there is a job for you, because they quite often moan and groan, it's so difficult to find a job, but that's not the case. And again, indirectly and directly related, we're talking 6 million now, and we're talking over 9 million. So is this important? Is tourism important? I don't think we have to talk long about it. And I think the Ministry of Tourism should be a much higher level in the cabinet than she has in all respect. And I'm not saying that because she's sitting here, because I think tourism is still undervalued by the senior government. Many reasons for that. We're not very good in lobbying. We're not very good in working together, and we do have to do a better job. And then, of course, the new trend of talking about what the income is. 2015, 1.6 billion came into nearly 1.7 billion, and this is only international travel. There is no domestic travel in there, which last year was another 800 billion baht. And again, we're going to more than double that in the year 2025. So the question I read, is it all good news in the announcement? And my answer is yes, if all stakeholders realize there is no I in team. We still have too many silos in the tourism industry. TG is a perfect example, and yes, Roy, I also hope that how TG helped us when I worked in the Royal Orchid 30 years ago to promote the destination and to promote, in that case, even the hotel. That was a fantastic job, and I hope that eventually they will take part of that role again. We also have to look more at added value and less at what I call financial striptease. I can do it cheaper than they can do it is still the main trend that I see in Thai tourism, and we compete over price and not over value. I believe that we need more innovation, and what I heard today and what I've seen already, we are talking about new destinations, new information, and I hope that one day I will not hear anymore from what I heard from a TAT director in a country that shall be not named. We in Thailand don't need innovation because we have Thainess. And that, of course, was sadly not very much appreciated in that meeting because A, people don't understand the Thainess, and B, I think even with Thainess we need innovation too. Safety, security, Minister mentioned it. One of my, of course, topics that I like talking about a lot, and we are working together with the FCCT, which is the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce, and the Dutch NTCC on a program next year to do what we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We had conferences on about safety and security. We came up with a declaration, and then 3 days later we had the coup, and that document, of course, disappeared in the nowhere, and we'll like to do that again. Education, one of the challenges we have is that the private industry complains that the students that come out of the university do not understand tourism and have two left hands and are very difficult to train because they basically have to retrain. I was just the last day in Mae Valley Wang, and we had a big discussion about making those students more practical, organized, and less academic thinking. We were talking with various groups about, we hope that Bangkok will not make what we call the Singapore mistake. No more street food in Bangkok. is one of those messages that goes around the world at the moment. Well, that was one of those things that made Bangkok famous. Singapore did the same in the 80s. I don't know if you remember, they had the car park where at 6 o'clock all the cars were kicked out and the food stalls came up. They had Boogie Street. It was all closed, sanitized, and Singapore for a couple of years become a very boring city. And what's happening now? They're bringing all those things back again to town. So we have to be careful that, yes, I understand the challenges of, you know, regulating a little bit more, but we also should think a little bit more about what is Bangkok's image and what those tourists appreciate as a fantastic experience. We might think it's a nuisance to have them all on the street, on the way, but I think it's a fantastic destination. You, the media, can you please help us also to accentuate the positive a little bit more? A lot of negative stories, and I don't want to think negative, I don't want to be negative, but yes, there are some negative stories, but we have so much positive stories. And if we can work together on promoting these positive stories and accentuate them, then we once again can overcome some of the challenges. And last but not least, I think to all of you and the tourism industry, we should ask ourselves, what can we do for Thailand, and not what can Thailand do for us. And I believe that that is really the crucial point that we should do. And Mrs. Minister, I am always ready to help Thailand, because Thailand has already done a lot for me. And it's great meeting you for the first time. So I hope we have a chance again to meet, and so that I don't have to tell all the competitors of Thailand that, you know, I'm asked more for expertise outside of this country than for inside of the country. And with that, thank you very much, and nice meeting you.
So just for the record, Bert, you didn't advise the Singaporeans?
No.
Just for the record, okay. Imtiaz, I'm sure you've got some very pointed comments to make on what's really going on in this part of the world.
Yeah, thank you, Dominic. A warm welcome to you, Madam Minister. The unique thing about this minister is that she's also the first female minister that we have had since the ministry was set up. It's been very interesting. Roy mentioned the people of this industry over the years. If one looks at the broader history of the Asia-Pacific travel and tourism industry, women have played a tremendous role in bringing this industry to where it is today. Not just the head of the lady, Tan Puying Chanat, who set up the Dusitani, but just across the road, we had Kuning Somsi, and then we have had a whole bunch of women over the years who have played a very, very important role. I can roll off the names of about 25 women right now. It's a phenomenal record, and I'm actually working on a project called the ASEAN Travel and Tourism Hall of Fame, which looks at the people who set up the entire ASEAN travel and tourism industry. When you compare the women who set up the Thai tourism industry, you won't find such a large roster of women anywhere in the ASEAN industry. So I'm looking forward to going public with that very, very soon. I'd just like to pick up on one or two points that was mentioned by the minister. She mentioned the word balance several times during the course of this of her discussion. When I started writing about the Thai travel and tourism industry in 1981, it was not rocket science to see where this industry was going. It had just started off. It was in 1960, as Roy said, Thai International had been set up. Also, the Tourism Organization of Thailand at that time had also been set up in 1960. So today, 57 years later, it actually makes Thailand pretty much what you would call a middle-aged industry. We are now going to be soon going into an elderly phase. And when you go from middle age to elderly phase, certain bodily functions begin to not work as well as they used to in the old days. And it's a bit presumptuous to think that we can keep running as fast as we used to in the old days. And today, one of the big problems that we have today is that we are still obsessed with speed and growth and moving, bringing in the numbers, bringing in the revenues. It's all about numbers, numbers, numbers. And yet, when you actually look at it, the crux of everything that when it started way back in 1987, which Kun Bert mentioned up on top. How many of you can actually remember what was marked in 1987? Can anybody remember that? But Bert just mentioned that briefly. But anybody remember in details what happened? No? It was an event called Visit Thailand Year. And Visit Thailand Year, does anybody remember what event it marked? Why it was commemorated in the first place? You're not supposed to say that. You're just... The 60th birthday of His Majesty the King. It was the 5th cycle anniversary. It was the first event of its kind ever held in the history of global travel and tourism. And it revolutionized not just the Thai travel and tourism industry, but the entire world's tourism industry, because there'd never been an event like that. And immediately after Visit Thailand Year, you had a Visit Malaysia Year, a Visit Indonesia Year, a Visit ASEAN Year, etc., etc. But it was His Majesty's 60th 5th cycle auspicious birthday that was the launch pad that actually changed this whole industry around and catapulted it up from those few millions that we're getting to a whole new ball game. I'm proud to say that I actually wrote the first book on that event. How it was planned, how it was crafted, who it was actually put together, and it's here. It's called The First Report, A Study of the Thai Tourism Revolution. Very simple. It was quite easy to see that this was an industry that was on a winning ticket, and it would be growing very, very significantly for the years. And it didn't actually take a lot of doing at that time, because it actually brought the whole industry together in a way that had never been done before. And as Bert said, there is no I in team. That was teamwork par excellence. Now, immediately after that, and coming to the focus on the word balance, this was a marketing excellence, a marketing exercise par excellence. Never seen anything like this in the annals of Thai tourism at that time. Now, immediately after that, the industry began to fragment. Capacity issues began to go through those cycles. There was intense competition. It became almost each man for himself. Why? Because all the numbers started coming in. And then there was this huge tussle because there was a whole new slew of hotels that came on. Tour operators saw the great potential, and it became a gold rush. And when it becomes a gold rush, as we have seen not just in the Thai tourism industry, it's basically each man for himself. It becomes, you land up becoming a victim of this get-rich-quick mentality, and that's exactly what happened. So, logical thing to do was to try and balance that. And it was quite apparent what some of the problems that were going to emerge as this gold rush started. So then, the following year after that, I did another book, and it's basically called Coping with the Challenge of Growth. This came out in 1989. This was the marketing exercise, and this was the management exercise. And my beef over the years has always been that Thailand is a marketing genius and a management dunce. Let me just repeat that. The Thai tourism industry is a marketing genius and a management dunce. Today we are talking about things like $0 tours and all that. I remember covering this same issues 30 years ago. $0 tours are not new. They were going on since the Japanese started, since the Chinese first started coming over here, and the Koreans, and we are still talking about them. There were huge problems that emerged with environmental issues, dumping of sewage into the sea, the AIDS problem that exploded, ghost guides, jewelry commission rackets, and all kinds of stuff. I'm proud to have actually been the first travel tourism journalist to actually been arrested for trying to expose the rackets of some of the jewelry commission the things that have been going on here. Now, and there is this sometimes I think that we become a victim of our own brochures. An industry that sells dreams for a living has great difficulty living with nightmares. An industry that sells dreams for a living has great difficulties living with nightmares. And one of the problems that we don't do is we don't study the lessons of history. And somewhere along the way, as we move towards an elderly status of the industry, We're going to have to do more of that. Look a little bit more soul-searching, a little bit more hindsight, and a little less foresight. This industry, I can tell you, is going to boom. You're talking about 30 million, 50 million is no problem. We are sitting right in the heart of the most populous region in the world. We've got, right to the immediate to the north, we have got 1.6 billion Chinese. Immediately to the west, we have got 1.4 billion Indians. Immediately to the south, we have got Indonesia with its 400, 500 million. How many people do they have? About 600 million people. We can't go wrong. Low-cost airlines will start booming in. The Asian highway will come up. We are sitting right in the heart of the greater Mekong region. Geographically, we are unbeatable. Geographically, we are unbeatable. We've got borders with four of the 10 ASEAN countries. We're the only ASEAN country that has it. We can bring in people by land, by sea, by air, by road, by rail. Only country in ASEAN that can bring in these numbers. Geographically, we cannot be beaten by anybody. And then if you add to that the simple lure of all the other things, that our culture, our heritage, our friendliness, our hospitality, our value for money, it's a given. We can shut down the Tourism Authority of Thailand tomorrow and we'll still get 60 million, I assure you, within the next 20 years. It's easy. It's, you know, the big problem is going to be managing these numbers. Managing these numbers. And the fact that we're still talking about it today means that we didn't actually do a good job when we started doing this, laying the foundations of the industry. And this has been always the problem. We build the superstructure first and then worry about the infrastructure later. And somewhere along the way, this is going to have to change. And it's going to have to change big time. Because along with that, we're going to have to do some reallocation of the way we put our budgets. There is probably far too much money going into marketing these days. And yes, we do need marketing. But it's a great imbalance. And I keep repeating this word, imbalance, because right through this industry, our biggest problem right now is this huge imbalance between what we do with marketing, between what we do with the management, between our focus on the economy and our focus on the ecology, between focus on quantity and the focus on quality. These are all huge things that need to be balanced. And it's a grid that needs to be worked out. So as we look forward to the next 5 years, and our National Economic Social Development Plan will now be starting, everybody now says that the sufficiency economy is now going to become, His Majesty's sufficiency economy is going to become the core of the way we develop our entire, not just our industry, not just our economy, but the entire industry. And I think for me personally, I think if we could do for the management of this industry what we did for the marketing of this industry 25 years ago in 1987, we'll be actually on a huge winning ticket. We'll be on a huge winning ticket. And it's going to be not just an issue in Thailand. This is going to be a global issue. As Kun Bert pointed out, the tourism industry worldwide is on a winning ticket. There are numbers going like you wouldn't believe. It's not just the low-cost airlines, it's the mobile phones, and there's huge competition among all the countries all over the world to bring the numbers in. So Thailand will be facing immense marketing, management, competition going forward over the years. The numbers will be easy, as I mentioned, because of the geography. So marketing may not be too much of an issue. The real priority is going to be the management of this, of this industry. Everything from clean toilets to service to the service quality of the guides, the restaurants, the language abilities, everything. And these things are not getting as much money as they should have been over the years. It should have been fixed in the old days. We shouldn't even be talking about it today. But finally we are doing it now, and I'm looking forward to actually getting this huge imbalance. And once we actually put that together in a more equitable and sustainable way, that's when I think this industry will really be able to move into old age. That's when sustainability, and it's not just sustainability, but longevity, which will really become the key going forward. Thank you very much indeed.
Right, as usual, we have a microphone in the middle of the room for anybody who would like to ask questions. So get up, ask a question, and identify yourselves. Whilst you're doing that, I'll kick off. This idea that Thailand is at the heart of the region and it's unassailable and everything, isn't that a little bit suspect? What is actually to stop people flying from Frankfurt to Yangon or Naypyidaw directly if the numbers are sufficient? I mean, we have the aircraft. The idea that Thailand is always going to be a gateway is an assumption, and I think it's a debatable assumption. Minister.
Well, in the past, definitely we are the center. But nowadays it is no longer so. If we close our eyes and believe that we are in the center and we are in the center, no longer that. Once ASEAN has opened, everyone has equal chance. And now people are flocking to our neighboring countries, of which they deserve to have that chance now. And so therefore, that is why I agree with you and I disagree with you. I agree that we need to manage more. But then at the same time, the competition has changed. Everyone is now into tourism. Looking at Japan in the past, the economy of the world has changed. In the past, they can totally rely on factory, manufacturing, trading, blah, blah, blah. But no, now Japan, there is the visa starting from Thailand, but now I think to everyone. Now US offer a 10-year visa to Chinese. Now Indonesia offer free visa for everyone, that kind of thing. Tourism has changed. But I agree with you that everyone now needs tourism as a part of economic pillar. But we need to be more aware how to strike the balance. So we are no longer have confidence that we will continue to be the center of ASEAN. If we go to other countries, they want to be the center also. We used to think we are the gateway. It will not, the gate can change, the gate can move. Because at this moment, the open of the ASEAN with the international investment in our neighboring countries, everyone will have equal chance very soon. And so therefore, if we cannot keep our competitiveness, if we cannot keep our attractiveness, things can move fast.
Imtiaz, what do you think about that?
Dominic, the geographical hub status of Thailand has actually been a core reason for the success of this industry. And I'll give you another example of this going back. When the age of mass tourism dawned with the age of the wide-body jets, the DC-10s and the 747s. And the first point from Europe that could be touched by non-stop flights, non-stop flights in both directions from Europe, any point in Europe, was Bangkok. The Copenhagen flights, if I'm not mistaken, were the first to be launched by the DC-10s. And this was round-the-year traffic with full loads, which means with full cargo, with full passenger loads in both directions. So that opened up the age of mass tourism, and then you had people over here, because that was geographically possible. They couldn't reach Kuala Lumpur, those flights couldn't reach Kuala Lumpur, they couldn't go to Singapore, they couldn't go to Hong Kong because it was 1 hour more. And that opened up the age of mass tourism. And then over here in this country, then you had people who built on it. You had some superb hoteliers like Kurt Wachtweitel and Aloha Fasbin, and a whole bunch of people who actually capitalized on this huge boom that came from Europe because they knew how to work the tour operators from there. And in Thai International, you had people like Henrik Lau and Niels Lumholt and others who were actually there. But that would not have been possible without this geographical advantage. Today, you have the same advantage working through with the road and rail transport systems. The Asian highway will crisscross through Thailand. It'll go north-south, east-west. It'll go straight through through this part of the world. And with the next generation of cruise tourism as well that is emerging, this point will become the hub, and particularly when Burma opens up, because all the crews will all land up going into Rangoon. So like I said, you'll get multimodal transport hub, and gateways only open up when you have the transport facilities in place. And then if you add to that the visa-free facilities, 70 countries now get visa-free, et cetera, the value for money, the heritage, the culture, it's no-brainer.
Right, well that's optimistic. So can we have a question?
I'm a correspondent for the German business daily Handelsblatt, and I have two questions for Kun Kobkarn. You mentioned the upcoming New Year's celebrations before. I would be happy if you could share a few more details about it. Will there be a big party in Bangkok as usual, or will the entertainment activities be toned down because of the mourning period? And my second question would be, do you have any recommendations for tourists who want to pay respect to the body of the king in the Grand Palace? Is it appropriate for them to do it, or is this an activity reserved for Thai people at the moment?
For countdown, there will be countdown, there will be parties, but we are working on a big event. For example, like Ministry of Tourism and Sports together, Ministry of Culture, we are going to do certain things, something coming up. And I believe that some other places, definitely in Chiang Mai, Phuket, and all the big places, there will be something. But what it will look like at the moment, I cannot tell. But there will be parties, there will be countdowns. But we would like this year to be a special year, make it very memorable. Okay. So there will be certain things, something that we would like to be in the Guinness Book Record, that kind of thing. Okay. That is one thing. And for the king, we have I have asked them also that a lot of expats, that love the country so much and definitely feel very related to the king, would like to take part in this. The problem is that at the moment, very long queue of the Thai also. And so from the discussion that it is not forbidden, but then at the same time, they would like to give the priority to the Thai. And Thai meaning not the Thai in Bangkok, but meaning the Thai from around the country, from other. Now they have quota, 3,000 people from each province. And they come by bus, they come by what any mean, but everyone would like to take the chance. And they are, 10 hours in the bus, 10 hours waiting outside under the rain. They can do anything. They want to be there. And so therefore, that's why I think at the moment they would like to keep the line for the Thai first. And I think later on, but this will be for 100 years, 100 days, or maybe or more. And I will keep asking when can be the turn of the expat and the really friends of Thailand who can be a part of this. Okay.
Question?
Yes, hello. My name is Charles Horner. I should say that I work for a company which supplies jet fuel to low-cost carriers, particularly operating between Thailand and China. So we have a lot of visibility on tourist arrivals from China into Thailand. In the last 2 or 3 months, we've seen a huge drop-off, more than 50% in terms of flights. That's to a large extent a result of sort of government actions on what are called $0 tourism. My question really is perhaps 3 parts. One is this drop-off part of a deliberate policy? Is it something the government wants to see? Would it like to see that drop-off proceed even further? Or would it like to see the arrivals sort of pick up again, but perhaps in a different form? And is it doing anything to encourage a move away from $0 tourism to something else? A little bit of visibility for us on what we might expect in the next few months in terms of group tours from Thailand would be very helpful for us and perhaps interesting for everyone else as well. Thank you.
Thank you. For the $0 tour action, it doesn't mean that we don't want Chinese tourists to Thailand. Okay? We welcome everyone. But the first objective that made us do this is because I think it is the duty of the government, and not only the Thai government, we are working with the Chinese government also. Okay? This is a request from them, that we need to protect the right of the tourists, the right of the people. They should get what they should get. And that is why we are doing this. We are trying to, I mean, $0, some people say we have had this for a long time. Yes, I think so. But there should be a limit. When I went to France, they may ask me to go for one shopping or two shopping. That I did not like, but at the end of the day, okay, at least only two shopping. But what happened in Thailand? They request you to do it every day. And if you don't do it, something will happen. And that is why it's beyond the limit. We would like to welcome everyone to Thailand. But we would now like to make sure that we give a quality, not only to the Thai people, but to our friends coming to our country. We want them to listen to the right story of our history. We want them to buy something that is worth their money. And that is why we are doing this. We don't want to see the drop, but we want to make sure that people get what they should get. And it's not only Chinese, meaning everyone coming to Thailand. This is a difficult task, but as I have mentioned to you, there will be one day that we need to do this. There will be one day that people need to help the people. And who will do it? If you only think of business, if you only think of making money, we will not do it. We will not do it. Because it's money and money and money, or as you say, it will continue to increase, but people suffer. So therefore, we believe that this is probably one of the only chance that we can do, and that's why we dare to do. It's a big task, I have to tell you. I cannot sleep any night. It's really difficult. But then we as I say, if we continue to let it go and allow it to be more and more, and people will come to Thailand with a wrong story, buy something that is maybe 3 times more expensive than what they should pay, that kind of thing. And you might have heard already that if you don't buy, then maybe you cannot eat, you will have late lunch, late dinner. If you don't buy, if you buy from the wrong shop, they throw it away from the bus. That kind of thing is too much. It's too much. That is why $0 may be okay, but there should be a limit. And in Thailand, it starts to over the limit too much, until some people said that untouchable. And if we allow it to be untouchable, it will go beyond the limit. And I have said this because we have been requested by CNTA, China National Tourism and CNTA, they are the big guy. So, and I still remember vividly the requirement from them, the request from them, that please help to protect the right of their people. And that is why we have to do it. We don't want to see the drop. We hope we are working so hard to make sure that we can regulate to a certain extent, but then at the same time minimize the loss and now start. But the figures that what we have seen yet, I think is starting to pick up gradually. 60%, according to the immigration statistic, people coming from China, they are FIT. I have to say it again. Last year we achieved 7.9 million Chinese arrival. Up to November 13, we already this year 7.9 million already the Chinese arrival. So we will try to make sure that we welcome everyone. And don't worry, actually European increased about 11%. ASEAN arrival to us also increased about 10%. So every country very important to us.
Thank you. Very good answer. Thank you.
Tony.
Hi, Chernai from Council English here in Bangkok. I'd like to ask Kun Kobkarn, I've seen your presentation about events and celebrations that will be coming in for the next few months. But I noticed something quite important is missing, which is the ascension to the throne of a new king, which is something that's going to be very big, very important. And when the Crown Prince Wattanavrangkul takes the throne, would there be a period of celebration and event as well? Maybe there'll be event for tourism, that kind of thing as well. Would that be? And when would that happen?
I think soon. But I don't know the date. But soon, definitely soon.
จะมีเหมือนกับว่าเป็นแบบอีเวนต์เหมือนกับว่าฉลองเหมือนกับว่าเป็นเทศกาลอะไรไหมครับเหมือนกับว่าเป็น
คืออันเนี้ยwe have to wait
okay
for we have to wait from the palace. Yes.
Okay, that was a nice try.
Hi, my name is Chuck Howard. I'm an FCCT member. I believe in dreams and I believe in thinking big. So I hope the panel will take my question seriously and try to make some comments. When will Thailand host the Olympic Games? I'm serious. Especially considering there's so many students here.
You've sprung the question on us. When's the next available slot?
We are
working. Like what year? 10 years, 20 years?
It's a long way off, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway.
We are working with Malaysia, for example, to whether or not we can co-host the FIFA World Cup. Because over here, football is number one. I mean, important. But we are working on the global event, especially the for sports. But we have to make sure that you might have seen something that if you don't handle it well, because it's a big investment and it continue to be very, very expensive. And so therefore, we have to make sure that if we are going to enter into this kind of thing, we should be able to make it work afterward. It should not be a burden after that. And so therefore, we are doing some feasibility study about this kind of thing, but not yet finished. It's dream that we hope not to be impossible dream.
FIFA, so you're swimming with the sharks.
I think probably the most important part of that feasibility study will be doing a study of all the white elephants of all the various stadiums around the world, and what they're doing with all those, and not just the Olympic stadiums, but also the FIFA the football stadiums and everything else, to see which of them are making money and which of them are not. Because it's the morning after that is more important, after all the expenses. And then relate that to whether that money can actually be put into building schools and hospitals and upgrading the education systems and whatever else needs to be done. So it's pretty down the track right now. But again, going back to my whole issue of learning the lessons of history, there are lots of these stadiums sitting around just called white elephants today because they just don't know what to do with it. And it's there, and it's a monster mess.
Greece. Question?
Hi, my name is Petra Desatova, and I am a student at the University of Leeds. I'm doing research on nation branding. So I was wondering whether you could maybe elaborate a little bit on a marketing or branding strategy for the tourism industry, because you've been talking about some new markets that you're going to be approaching, maybe some new alternative ways of tourism. So is the ministry going to maybe go away from the traditional Thainess as a marketing point, and now you're going to be marketing on something else, maybe something new, something that is more in line with the Pratet Hai Si Jutsun Thailand 4.0 policy? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We are trying to come up with, hopefully, innovative, as you have said, with the old product, but in a new way. Ladies' journey to Thailand, that is one of the things. Actually, I mean, we have been having Muay Thai for a long, I mean, we have food, we have meditation, we have beauty pack and whatnot, but combine everything and introducing in a new way for ladies. Lady seat in some of the airplane, ladies taxi, plus that kind of thing, and cater for the need of special segment, that kind. And so therefore we believe that with this kind of old product in a new way, we would be able to introduce, how should I say, the new look of Thailand with more value added. Now this year, TAT has introduced local experience. I have a little video to show to you. They have just launched at the WTM London. Local experience meaning that it's the same thing, that with something that we do every day, but we share the activities with the tourists. So therefore, we don't want the hotel to sell only the hotel. We want the hotel to sell something with the local community around the hotels. And so therefore, you don't compete with the price of the room, but you have something value added so that you can make some profit out of that, and still the tourists can maybe appreciate you more. เปิดได้ไหม?
Okay, I'll believe this when I see it. Is it happening or not? Because otherwise... Stay on mic, Marwan. We'll need a story question in a minute.
When holidaying in Thailand, get up at the break of dawn. Give alms. Make merit. Sip a local coffee brew. Then climb a palm tree in the middle of a field. Learn to harvest crops with local farmers. Taste the refreshing sap and juice. Get a relaxing massage. Indulge in a spa session. And enjoy a Thai meal in the jungle. Ride a water buffalo. Wade in mud and plow the fields. Grow jasmine right the traditional way. Bike downhill to tone those legs and pump that blood. Board a train. Eat at every station and take in the window seat views. Skillfully dye fabrics using nature's magnificent colors. Chat with villagers and share local fruits. Admire the old town on bicycles and rest the eyes. Laze around. Wake up! Kick a rattan ball around with Thai friends. Learn Thai boxing. Help villagers keep boats. Steer a fish yourself. Dance the Thai dance. Jump into a private pool. Join the Thai temple fair at night. Tease the cat in the evening. And enjoy midnight stir-fried morning glory like a true local. Discover your unique local experiences in amazing Thailand.
Certainly a big improvement on the past advertising. Marwan, have you got a question in the dark there?
Yeah, hi. Marwan Mark from the Nikkei Asian Review. It's quite interesting, Minister. You mentioned about 60% of Chinese tourists are using the mobile phone as a way to come to Thailand, and not the group tours. So there was a discussion here between the $0 group tours and the individual tourists coming in couples or smaller groups. How is that changing the reality on the ground? And maybe even the gentleman from Khao San Road organization can respond to the expense, their spending patterns, because at the end of the day, it was an economic issue. I mean, you did not want these $0 tourists to come because probably Thailand was not getting the benefit of what you're offering. And you're seeing this shift is quite dramatic. If 60% of them are, paying their way and using mobile phones to come here. So what is happening on the ground that you feel is something positive for the country? And maybe you, Minister, and even at Khao San Road, thanks.
Maybe I just get the figures today. For FIT, Chinese FIT, actually spending per day is a bit less than Chinese coming in a group tour. Because as you have heard already that they are supposed to chop and chop and chop in order to pay something that very, very low cost when they paid in the beginning. But the good thing of FIT is that they stay longer. Chinese FIT stay 9 days, average. This is the latest statistic. The group tour is only 6 days. So in total, the revenue we get from the FIT Chinese bigger than group tour.
I just add it up a little bit. The group tour, yeah, definitely about 40% of the totally Chinese arrive in Bangkok, in Thailand. Their expenditure is huge, but it's just go to a certain of people. That's it. But the FIT is spread out to all the SME, all the private sector. So this is a difference. Okay, they spend a lot on food and on shopping, but that, like Minister say, that spending a little bit less, but they did stay longer. And Khao San is one of the locations that all the family, all the FIT come and stay, and they do spend. Okay, but like I say, group tour money-wise, they go to a certain sector. That's it. Thank you.
Right. Any more questions? I would just like. All right, you're back.
Sorry, yes. Just a follow-up question. I mean, I can understand entirely why you would want to try and discourage $0 tourism. I mean, it sounds a very unappealing recipe. But I mean, just judging from an observation about Asian tourism, I mean, the group tour is not going to go away. I mean, a lot of my Thai friends still want to travel the world in groups. I just wonder what you can do to encourage, let me say, responsible group tours rather than the irresponsible $0 group tours. I mean, thank you.
Well, thank you again for the good question. We are now working very hard in order to support the good ones. We trying to, for example, new destination, new activities like that. Don't sell the same old route, because now the cost coming to Thailand seems to be more expensive. Seems to be, nah? But actually, once you pay, that is the only price that you pay. But for $0, you pay seems to be very low. But every day you have to add on. So at the end of the day, spending is the same, but the value you get will be much better. So we educate the operators that you not only must learn about the new activities and new destination in Thailand, but you must work diligently. In the past, maybe they don't have to think. Old route. Emerald Buddha, if you go to Pattaya, Koh Lan, that's it. You don't think. You just put down the number and that's all. Very easy to make money. But if you want quality, I think in any business it's the same. If you sell wholesale, you don't think much. You move box. But if you sell retail, this is meaning that you need to be more of the retail business. Then you need to pay more attention to quality. You have to add on in the detail how to make it more special. So now we are trying to encourage them. You have to start working harder. You have to introduce something more than what you used to introduce in the past without thinking. And so many things that you can do in Bangkok. Why sell only the same route? So many things that you can do in Pattaya. Actually, many other good things in Pattaya. If we stick to the old thing, people will only think Pattaya in the bad. I think you know. So therefore, now we are educating them. Second thing that they have problem is about the money. Meaning that some of them are now short of the cash flow. So we are now talking to the Banker Association, how to make sure that they can have some credit in order to have some a new cash flow, so that they can start doing a proper business. And another thing, many of them start to think that they would like to change their direction, and they have started to talk to us. They want to know how to pay tax properly. Please teach them how to do the tax calculation, that kind of thing. They want to be registered. They want to do the proper way, something that they might not have done before. And now we are trying to guide them, teach them, coach them in order to achieve that. And then at the same time, the good names, we already talked to CNTA. We have sent out the good company with our standard. And they have already list in their website that these are the recommended tour operators. These are the recommended hotels. These are the recommended whatever tourism operation in Thailand. And already on their recommendation list. At the same time, they ask for our blacklist. But we think that is maybe, we would like to keep that until if we cannot do it, then we will give them the blacklist. They even tell us that they will also give us the blacklist. If they give us the blacklist of Chinese tourists who have behaved badly, please refuse visa for not to receive them, that kind of thing. So this is the intention of Chinese government in order to level up, I think, the image of Chinese around the world. They are working very hard. And so therefore, they really appreciate what we are doing. They say they understand it's a tough thing on our side at the moment. But we are working closely, coaching, helping, and with the collaboration. It's not easy, I tell you. But we are on the process of doing this.
Good. We've run a...
I'd just like to add it up a little bit. Just talk to the Air Asia, Mr. Joe. Like you say, is likewise the capacity of the passenger are dropping. But I also talked to the travel agency in overseas. and they have no choice. They will come back. Thailand is the greatest place. Mr. Imtiaz said that we are at a good geographic location. Okay, we are one of the best. So they will stop selling us for a while, but definitely they will sell Bangkok and Thailand.
Right, we've run very late. I want to run through the panel very, very quickly with one recommendation from each of you of what you would like to see done to get the Thai tourism industry moving forward. Roy, with all your experience, what would you like to see?
Well, I think quality rather than quantity.
I'd like to see the King's sufficiency economy philosophy becoming the Constitution, the Bible, the holy grail of the entire way this travel and tourism industry operates, and make it permanent, not just for the next 2 years, 3 years, but henceforth.
Minister, what would you?
Well,
no, I'm asking the minister. This is we're in a democracy. She's still thinking.
Not yet, not yet.
She's pulled rank on you. Go on. Okay.
Well, anyway, I'd like to thank Minister and all our private sector. We will fully support the government to promote and to help in any way we can.
But what would you like to see happen to get tourism really moving here?
Well, more promotion, more creativity on that destination, which I saw a lot of things on the advertisement. So, well, I'm satisfied with what I did.
Bert.
Well, as a master of disaster, I can say only one thing: more safety, security, specifically on the road, which is becoming a major problem.
Minister, what would you like to see?
Well, definitely our mission and commitment is quality. But most of all, as I have said from the beginning, I think the true beauty of tourism is not the figures, but we need the figure to go on. At the end of the day, it must be friendship and unity and peace. And so therefore, we have to make sure that everyone coming to Thailand understand us, love us for what we are and who we are, and return. And so Thailand will continue to be the land of smiles, the second home for everyone.
Right, well that's a nice note. If I was going to recommend one thing for Thailand, if you wanted to get back your European long-haul traffic, I would cut the tax on wine in half. And you would be amazed by the effect. The taxes on wine in Thailand are absolutely ludicrous, and they're a major deterrent to European holidaymakers. If they want to come for a holiday in Thailand, they know that they're not going to be able to buy wine at a reasonable price. You're bringing in the beer bars, but you're not bringing in the quality top end. Anyway, that's a personal note. I'd like to thank you all, Ray, Imtiaz, Minister, Kunsanga, Bert, and for a very, very interesting evening. And please come back again. Thank you very much.